"You smell like poor," she said, dumping me after I lost my job. So I walked away without a word. Now she's broke and begging after her rich guy used her up. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. This all went down starting about a year ago, and honestly, sharing it here feels like closing the book on a chapter one never wanted to read. But if it helps anyone else spot the red flags or find their way out of a similar mess, it's worth it. Buckle up, it's a long one, but the turnaround is satisfying. My name's Alex, or at least that's what I'll call myself here. I'm 32 now, but this story kicks off when I was 31, living in a mid-sized city in the Midwest. I'd been with Sarah for 3 years, met her through a mutual friend at a casual barbecue. She was charming, ambitious, with this infectious laugh that could light up a room. She worked as a freelance graphic designer, hustling for gigs on social media, dreaming of becoming a big-time influencer. Me? I had a solid job in tech sales for a software company. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid well, enough to cover our rent on a decent apartment, weekend getaways, and even help her out when her clients were slow to pay. From the start, I was all in. I saw us as a team. When she hit rough patches, like that time her biggest client ghosted her and she couldn't make rent, I stepped up without a second thought. I'd dip into my savings, cook her favorite meals to cheer her up, even help edit her portfolio late into the night after my own long days. "We're building something together," I'd tell her, and she'd smile, pull me in for a kiss, and say, "You're my rock, Alex." It felt real. I sacrificed for her too, turned down a promotion that would have meant relocating because she didn't want to leave her network here. Family gatherings? I'd skip some to attend her networking events, standing in the corner with a drink while she schmoozed. But looking back, the cracks were there early. Sarah had this thing about appearances. She'd scroll through Instagram endlessly, pointing out couples with luxury cars or exotic vacations. "See? That's the life," she'd say, half joking but with an edge. Once, after I bought her a thoughtful but affordable necklace for our anniversary, she wore it once and then forgot about it, favoring flashier stuff from her wish list. I'd brush it off. Everyone has insecurities, right? But it escalated subtly. She'd make little digs about my basic wardrobe or how my car was reliable but boring. Nothing outright cruel, just enough to plant seeds of doubt. Then came the layoffs. It was early 2025, and the economy was tanking, tech bubble bursting again, companies slashing headcount left and right. My firm announced cuts, and bam, I was out. No severance beyond a couple weeks' pay. They called it restructuring. I was gutted. I'd been there 5 years, hit every target, but it didn't matter. That night, I came home, sat Sarah down, and laid it out. "It's temporary," I said. "I've got leads already. Networking starts tomorrow." I expected support, maybe a hug, some reassurance like I'd given her a dozen times. Instead, her face tightened. "How are we supposed to afford things now?" she snapped, like I'd chosen this. Over the next few weeks, as I pounded the pavement, updating resumes, cold calling contacts, even taking freelance gigs to tide us over, she grew distant. No more date nights. She'd go out with friends instead, coming home late smelling like wine and excuses. I'd hear her on the phone, laughing with someone, but when I'd ask, it'd be just a client. The comparisons started slipping in too. My friend Lisa's boyfriend just got promoted. "He's taking her to Europe," she'd say casually over dinner, her eyes flicking to my laptop where I was job hunting. Or worse, she'd post vague stories on her social media, memes about leveling up, or quotes like, "Don't settle for less than you deserve." I felt it in my gut. She was pulling away, weighing me like a stock that had dipped. I tried to talk about it once, vulnerable as hell. "Sarah, this sucks, but we'll get through it together, right?" She just sighed. "I don't know, Alex. I need stability. This uncertainty, it's stressing me out." It hurt, but I doubled down, picked up odd jobs delivering food, cut back on everything to keep the lights on. I thought loyalty meant weathering the storm. Little did I know, she was already charting a course to abandon ship. It all came to a head about a month after the layoff. I'd just gotten back from a grueling interview, suit wrinkled, tie loose, feeling that mix of hope and exhaustion. Sarah was home early, unusually so, sitting on the couch with her phone in hand. She looked up, and there was this coldness in her eyes, like she'd rehearsed what was coming. "We need to talk," she said, setting her phone down face up. I saw a notification pop up from Mark, some guy she'd mentioned vaguely as a collaborator for her design work. My stomach dropped, but I sat across from her, trying to stay calm. "What's going on?" She leaned forward, crossing her arms. "Alex, this isn't working anymore. You've changed since you lost your job. It's like you're not the same guy I fell for." I blinked, processing. "Changed? Sarah, it's been a month. I'm busting my ass to fix this." "What do you mean?" She rolled her eyes, that smug little huff escaping her lips. "Come on, don't make this harder. You smell like poor now, stale deliveries and desperation. I can't be around that. I need someone who can keep up, who doesn't drag me down with their failures." The words hit like a slap. Smell like poor? It was so absurdly cruel, so out of left field, but she said it like it was fact. I could feel my face heat up, but I kept my voice steady. "That's what this is about. Money? After everything I've done for you. Everything you've done?" She laughed, bitter and dismissive. "Please. You paid for stuff because that's what boyfriends do. But now, you're a liability. I deserve better, someone ambitious, exciting. Mark gets it. He's building something real, a startup that's going places. He takes me to nice places, doesn't nickel and dime everything like you have to now." There it was, the affair, or whatever she'd call it. Emotional, physical, didn't matter. Betrayal was betrayal. "So you've been seeing him? While I'm out there grinding to keep us afloat." She shrugged, not even denying it. "It's not cheating if we're basically over. I tried to stick it out, but you let this happen. Your stability vanished overnight. Mark? He's got vision. He doesn't panic at the first sign of trouble. He adapts, upgrades. You're stuck in survival mode, and it's suffocating." Her logic twisted like a pretzel. "So my job loss is my fault. The economy tanking, companies folding, that's on me." "Exactly," she said, pointing a finger. "Real men bounce back faster. Mark lost a deal last year and turned it into a bigger opportunity. You're moping around, applying to the same old jobs. I need passion, not pity parties. And honestly, your whole vibe, it's depressing. I can't post about us anymore without feeling embarrassed." I sat there, the room spinning a bit. Flashbacks hit me. Nights I'd stayed up helping her with pitches, the vacation I funded when she was broke, the way I defended her to my friends when they called her high maintenance. And now, reduced to a smell. But I didn't yell, didn't beg. Something clicked. This wasn't love, it was convenience. "Fine," I said quietly. "If that's how you see it, we're done." She looked surprised, like she'd expected drama. "That's it. No fight. What's there to fight for?" I replied, standing up. "You've made your choice." As I grabbed a bag and started packing essentials, clothes, laptop, a few books, she watched from the couch, smirking at first. "You'll regret this, Alex. You'll be crawling back when you realize no one else will put up with your average life." I paused at the door, keys in hand. "Take care, Sarah." No more words. I walked out, heart pounding, but head high. That night, I crashed at a buddy's place, staring at the ceiling, replaying her words. The humiliation burned, especially when I checked social media later. She'd posted a story, a photo of her with a cocktail, caption, "Finally free to level up nail polish #new beginnings." Vague, but pointed. Friends messaged me condolences. She'd made it public enough to sting. The days after were a blur of raw confusion. I didn't lash out, didn't text her rants or call her names. Instead, I went radio silent, blocked her on everything, unfollowed mutuals who might feed info back. Why give her the satisfaction of seeing me unravel? I rented a cheap studio on the outskirts of town, nothing fancy, but mine. Mornings were the worst. Waking up alone, her words echoing. "Smell like poor." It cut deep, making me question everything. Was I really that disposable? Had I been blind to her shallowness? I let myself sit with it, though. No rushing to win her back or plot revenge. Therapy helped, a free clinic session or two at first, then budgeting for more. "Feel the unfairness," the counselor said, "but don't let it define you." So I did. Weeks blurred into quiet routines. Gym at dawn to burn off the anger, job apps till noon, skill-building courses online in the afternoons. I learned coding basics, polished my sales pitch, networked on professional sites. It was lonely, nights staring at takeout containers, flashing back to sacrifices like the time I loaned her money for a fancy camera she needed for her brand, only for her to barely use it. Doubt crept in. Maybe she was right. My life had been basic, but slowly, clarity emerged. Her betrayal wasn't about my job. It was her entitlement, her fear of anything less than shiny. I started small wins, landed a temp gig consulting for a small firm, enough to pay bills without deliveries. Friends checked in, the real ones anyway. She's always been materialistic, one said. You deserved better. I didn't badmouth her, just nodded. Lesson learned. Months passed in that haze. No word from her at first, which suited me. I relocated my focus, joined a hiking group, read books on personal finance, even started a side hustle building websites for local businesses. The fire her words lit. It pushed me. By summer, I'd snagged a remote role in tech consulting, better pay than before, flexible hours. I upgraded to a nicer place, nothing extravagant, but with a view that reminded me I'd climbed out. Internally, the vulnerability faded. I felt free. Her ghost lingered in quiet moments, but it was pity now, not pain. How could I have missed it? Became glad I escaped. Little did I know, her upgrade was about to downgrade hard. It wasn't like I was stalking her or anything. I'd cut all ties, focused on my own grind. But in a city this size, word gets around, especially through the loose network of mutual friends we'd shared. At first, it was just snippets, the kind you overhear at a coffee shop or see in a group chat you haven't left yet. Sarah and Mark? Living the high life, apparently. Photos of them at upscale bars, her captions gushing about manifesting abundance. It stung a little, seeing her flaunt what she'd ditched me for, but I scrolled past. Her circus, her monkeys, I told myself. Then, about 4 months post-breakup, the cracks in her fairy tale started showing. A buddy from my old job messaged me out of the blue. Dude, you hear about that startup Mark's running? Sketchy as hell. Turns out, I dodged a bullet without knowing it. I did a quick search, nothing invasive, just public stuff, and pieced it together. Mark's innovative company was basically a glorified pyramid scheme, promising quick riches through some crypto-adjacent app. Reviews online called it a scam. Investors were pulling out. But Sarah? She'd gone all in, quitting her freelance gigs to help him full-time, co-signing on a fancy lease for their new condo to look the part. Karma didn't hit with a bang. It unraveled slowly, like a cheap sweater. First, the business imploded, lawsuits from duped clients, Mark's temper flaring in public rants on social media. Friends whispered he was unstable, yelling at her over nothing, controlling her schedule. Then came the discard. He bailed, leaving her with the debts and a trashed reputation. She'd posted about their power couple vibes 1 week. The next, her accounts went quiet. Mutuals filled in the blanks. She'd been isolated, her old friends ditching her after she burned bridges bragging about her upgrade. Job prospects tanked. No one wanted to hire someone tied to a fraud. By fall, she was back with her parents, scraping by on odd design jobs that paid peanuts. The irony hit me during a quiet evening hike. She'd mocked my poor smell, but now she was the one scrambling, her shiny life reduced to regrets. I didn't gloat. It just confirmed what I'd suspected. Her betrayal wasn't bad luck. It was her character. And me? I'd just closed a big client deal, my consulting gig turning into a full-time role with equity. Life was looking up, no thanks to her. The first outreach came via text, about 6 months after I walked out. I was at the gym, mid-set, when my phone buzzed from an unknown number. Hey Alex, it's Sarah. Can we talk? Miss our chats. I stared at it, heart rate spiking not from emotion, but surprise. Blocked her original number, but she'd found a way. I didn't respond. Why reopen that wound? A week later, another. I know I messed up. Mark was a mistake. Things got out of hand. Still radio silence from me. Then calls started, voicemails piling up. I listened to one out of curiosity. Alex, please pick up. I'm sorry for what I said. You didn't deserve that. I was stressed, projecting my fears. We had something good. Remember those weekends away? Let's grab coffee, hash it out. It escalated quickly. She showed up at my old apartment. Thankfully, I'd moved, then tracked down my new address somehow, probably through a mutual. One evening, a knock at the door. There she was, looking disheveled, makeup smudged like she'd been crying. Alex, thank God. Can I come in? I stood in the doorway, arms crossed. What do you want, Sarah? She shifted, glancing around like she expected judgment from neighbors. I need to apologize in person. That breakup. I was horrible. Smell like poor. That was low, even for me then. Mark turned out to be abusive, controlling everything. He left me with nothing. Debts, no job. I see now you were the real deal. Stable, kind. Can we try again? I'll make it up to you. Her words dripped hypocrisy, the same stability she'd trashed. I shook my head. No. Desperation flashed in her eyes. Please, just hear me out. I learned my lesson. We can rebuild. Before I could close the door, her phone buzzed, probably on purpose. See? My mom's texting. Even she thinks you should give me a chance. Then the toxic brigade kicked in. Her best friend called the next day. Dude, grow up. Sarah's going through hell. Be a man and help her. Unpleasant, guilt-tripping nonsense. Her mom emailed. Yeah, she had my old work address somehow. You're being cruel, Alex. Forgiveness is strength. She needs support right now. The attempts amped up. Angry voicemails followed ignored texts. How dare you ghost me? After everything, you owe me closure. Then pleading again. I'm alone, broke. Remember when I supported you? Wait, no, you supported me. But that's what partners do. It revealed her true colors, entitled, flipping from sweet to spiteful when denied. I stayed firm, no replies. Her chaos wasn't my problem anymore. The climax hit at our mutual friend Jake's engagement party. Upscale venue downtown, string lights and champagne, celebrating his tech startup success. I'd been invited as a success story guest. My new role had me consulting for similar firms, and Jake hyped me up. I showed up solo at first, but midway, my date arrived. A colleague turned something more genuine and grounded. We were laughing over appetizers when I spotted Sarah across the room. She looked out of place, tagging along with a distant acquaintance, her dress ill-fitting like a last-minute grab. She made a beeline, eyes wide. Alex? Wow, you look great. Congrats on the job, I heard through the grapevine. I nodded politely, indifferent. Thanks. Enjoy the party. She fidgeted, glancing at my date. Can we talk privately? Just for a minute. I excused myself from the group, stepping aside, not for her, but to end this cleanly. What is it, Sarah? Tears welled up, voice cracking. Seeing you here, thriving. It hits me what I lost. Mark destroyed me. Abusive, fake, left me in ruins. I'm starting over from scratch. But you? You're proof I had it good. Please, give us another shot. I'll change. Her desperation was on full display, guests whispering nearby. But I felt nothing. No pity, no spark. No, Sarah. That ship sailed. Why? She pressed, anger creeping in. Because of what I said, I was wrong, okay? You don't smell like poor. You smell like success now. I almost laughed at the flip. It's not about that anymore. You've become irrelevant to my happiness. I've built a life that's real, not based on appearances. Growth came from walking away, not looking back. She deflated, realizing the power flip. So that's it. I'm just nothing to you. Exactly, I said firmly, turning away. As I rejoined my date, Sarah slunk off, alone in the crowd. The contrast was stark. Her failure public, my upgrade evident. That night sealed it. No more echoes, just forward motion. If you're reading this, know this. Betrayal hurts, but dignity wins. Walk away, rebuild. Karma handles the rest. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.